dressed as a clown stepped into the range of my flashlight.
You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. God damn it. Sup? Though, you ready? Let's get it then. It's that time of month. I got cramps. So, thank God I got like Adidas pills. I'm sorry. I got my snacks though. You got yours? You got your
I once
cutter?
took a trek on the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania, which is the longest hiking-only trail in the world.
God damn.
I went it alone just for fun.
Oh.
I went late in the fall though.
There's nothing. You already. How come on? We 21 seconds into the video and you already clocking up. There's nothing fun about doing what you're doing alone. Hiking? No. No, there's nothing fun about that. Especially if you doing it by yourself. You better hope to God you got Adidas on. Just saying. Preferably, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The Adidas 3000s.
So it was cold and there weren't many other people hiking.
Right.
In fact, I think I only ran into like 2 other people going the opposite way.
Keep your distance.
The part of the trail I was on was in thick forest, and it was definitely a scenic walk. The trail ran alongside a small river, and nothing could be heard but the sound of the flowing river and the early morning birds chirping.
Okay.
It was time for me to sit down and take a break, so I found a big rock sitting aside the river and sat down on it.
Hurry up.
I took a sip of my Gatorade, and then I could swear I was hearing a baby's cries coming from the distance. It was coming from further down the trail in the direction I was walking.
Let it be.
Of course, I had to get up and follow the sound of it.
Of course you...
that off chance that a baby was stranded in the woods alone.
So what? So what? So mother clucking what? It can be a setup, man. My natural instinct, if I heard a baby crying and I was in your situation, to be like, hey, tough from The Last Airbender.
As I walked further down the trail, though, it seemed like the baby's cries stayed the same distance away. This went on for like half a minute of walking fast before I gave up, and assumed it was somebody with a baby walking down the trail. I sat down on another rock I found on the side of the trail by the river.
Stop sitting.
Eventually the crying seemed to just stop. Like, it didn't fade away, really. It just stopped abruptly.
Wow.
I sat on that rock for 5 minutes, just taking in the nature and taking a few videos on my phone.
But taking some Adidas.
That's when I heard footsteps approaching nearby. Expecting to see another hiker walking the trail, I saw some frantic-looking woman hurrying over to me. She came so fast and so close that it actually scared me. She stopped uncomfortably close to my face and started screaming at me, "Have you seen my baby?"
Nah.
I calmly told her I heard a baby crying not too long ago, and told her to follow me.
Oh my God.
We walked quickly down the trail in the direction I was chasing the sounds of the baby earlier. I looked back every few seconds to make sure she was keeping up with me. Eventually I summoned up the nerve to ask her how on earth she lost her baby, but she didn't answer. So I turned around again and stopped when I saw she was gone. And the weird thing, she was right on my tail just 10 seconds ago. I screamed out for her a few times, but the only sounds around me were the sounds of the birds chirping and the river.
No.
I figured even if she trailed off away from me, I would at least still be able to see her in the distance.
Oh my God.
I stood there for a long time deciding what to do next. Just move on with my life and continue the trail?
Hell yes.
Or walk back and try to find this woman?
No.
I did one more quick 180-degree scan of the area we just came from. And what I saw next may not sound very disturbing, but it was disturbing to me in that very spot. I saw the woman standing across the river, arms hanging lifelessly at her sides, and she was looking at me. Not saying anything, not moving a muscle, blank expression. Just standing like a statue, watching me. I had made up my decision right there, and that was to move the hell on with my life right there.
There you go.
I walked as fast as I could away from there, until my calves hurt from walking so fast for so long. Eventually, I made it back to my car after looping around another trail. I cut the hike short after what happened. I was truly unsettled by it, and even started to question my sanity. Like, did that actually even happen? It seemed so unreal, and yet, at the same time, it felt real in the sense that I lived it. I just want to know if anyone else who hiked the Appalachian Trail had any kind of freakish experiences like this.
And if I did, bitch, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not even saying nothing in my mind. I'm not saying nothing to anyone. I'm not even talking to it to. I'm not even talking to myself about it. I'm not. Cluck is you talking about? Even if I did experience the same thing you did, I'm gonna act like shit didn't happen. Trying to tell you, man, like, come on, man, like, I don't know what that was.
I have a preserve by my house since we live in a highly populated suburban area and there isn't much green. It's a huge preserve with miles and miles worth of biking and hiking trails. So long story short, one night in 2016 at like 11 at night, I decided to go for a run. I'm weird.
11 at night? 11 at night? 11 at night? Really? Couldn't do it when the sun was out? You couldn't do it when the sun was high noon? You couldn't do it when the calm. You just had to go at night. Anything else? Anything happened to you from this point on? That is on you and only you. Don't bring nobody else into it. Because if you do, you're selfish. Because you already bullshitting. You already clucking up. You already playing games. You already on that shit.
Sense that I like to avoid people when I go for runs. That's just how I am. I held my phone with a tight grip with the flashlight on and started my run at the edge of the preserve onto the dirt hiking trail. I felt I had more energy running at night too. It was weird. I don't know how to describe it. There were no lights at all. It was all just nature. There was also a dead body that came up in the previous week in the preserve.
Oh my, yeah. You about to be right next to that bitch. You about to be right laying next to this motherfucker. If you don't stop playing games right now, man. Come on, man. You knew it was a dead body well in advance. So why the hell would you go there? Why would you even go there in the first place if you knew it was a dead junk out there? Come on. Regardless if you go in early in the morning, during the day, or late at night. The fact that you knew it was a dead junk in the junks lets me know that you don't care about your junks.
Really let that concern me too much since I live in one of the safest neighborhoods in the state.
That don't mean shit.
It was also a weeknight, so there was literally no one else in this preserve but me. Well, that's at least what I thought. I got tired after about 10 minutes of running. Yeah, I used to be out of shape. I had to catch my breath, so the first bench I found, I sat down on. I have to admit, it was creepy as hell being in a pitch-black preserve like that all alone. It feels the same as being alone in the middle of the forest. There were...
That random ass bench. That random ass bench. If that doesn't look like no setup, I don't know what is. I feel like you're that type of dude that you don't, although you don't care about your life, you're so like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like you're one of those people that know that this person has a disease, but shout out to Hodge Twins, you go in balls deep with no protection. I feel like you're the type of person to know somebody has all the answers to the test. You know 100% for a fact that if you copy, if you copy word for word, or if you circle in the answers exactly like on that A+ work, you know you're gonna get 100 off bucks. But you thinking, maybe I can wing it. Maybe if I have faith enough, if I have enough faith and determination, that I can at least get A- when the whole semester you've been feeling like shit.
Sounds coming from all around, and to be quite honest with you, it was scaring me. Of course, most of them were animals, so when I heard leaves and sticks crunching nearby, I assumed it was a raccoon or fox or something.
I would have hauled ass.
But anyone's worst nightmare came true when I noticed something tall hiding behind one of the trees. I couldn't quite tell what it was because an iPhone's flashlight is only so bright. I stood up and walked a little closer, and I was kind of doing a crouch walk because for some reason I thought that would make me more low-key.
Wow, you're dumb.
I got close enough to where I saw a hand wrapped around one of the trees.
Come on!
The hand was in a white glove, though. I felt like my heart sank. Like I was suddenly in a life or death situation before I could even see who was behind that tree. Then they finally decided to reveal themselves. Someone dressed as a clown stepped into the range of my flashlight.
You got me fucked up! You got me fucked up! You got me fucked up! God damn it! I don't know what he doing, but I'm out. Deuces. Y'all, for anybody, oh my God, I can't even look at that image. Y'all, for anybody that knows me knows I don't cluck with clowns. I don't cluck with clowns. They scare the shit out of me. And when we had that whole clown epidemic where clowns were just out there harassing and hurting mother cluckers out there, I couldn't, best believe I was in the house whole time. whole time. Clowns scared the shit out of me. Okay. Yeah, you definitely clucking up to the max. Right now, I feel like, I don't know. Gee, oh my God, I can't look at. Let me know in the comment section if clowns scare you, like, no matter how friendly they seem to be.
I wanted to wait until now to mention this was back during the clown epidemic in 2016. From what I could see in the little light I had, this person went all out with his clown costume. From the makeup right down to the clown shoes. The most disturbing part was the bat with a large foot-long spike wedged through it that he was holding. His head was angled down to give a more menacing, terrifying look, and he walked very slowly towards me. I had only one option. That was to run as fast as I could, even though I was already so tired. I didn't run on the trail. Instead, I ran into the woods until I felt like I was going to puke. Then I shut off the flashlight and crouched down behind a tree.
Why?
I heard running zoom past me, maybe 10 feet away.
Just keep going.
The footsteps faded away into the distance. I ran back to the trail and ran all the way back the way I came. And I actually puked by the time I made it to the street, just from running so much. I didn't mention it before, but everyone figured that the dead body found the week before was linked to the clown epidemic. It should go without saying, I stayed away from the preserve for a while, and I definitely never went in there past dark ever again.
I would have never went back to that place ever. That's what you should have said. You clowns?
I went on a solo camping trip to the woods a few miles from my house. After setting up camp and eating, I took a half-hour nap in my tent and went for a hike. It was a normal hike in a rather quiet forest, until I thought I could hear footsteps nearby. I could have just chalked them up to being the footsteps of an animal, but they kind of sounded human-like, if that makes sense. Considering how deep into the woods I was, and how far from any real urbanization I was, it would definitely be odd to cross paths with another person there. I didn't go looking around for anyone, though. I just continued with my hike. When I got back to my tent, the first thing that I noticed was that the zipper to my tent was undone, and the door flap was open.
Yeah.
Right away, my heart was racing at the thought of someone having been in my tent.
Just
I checked to make sure that nobody was still in there first, and then
I want check nothing. Check nothing. You better. The only thing you need to check is to make sure that you got your Adidas. Check. Make sure them shoelaces are tied. Check. And you, mother clucking, kick it. Okay? No games. Okay. If I was you, and I know that before I left, I zipped up my tent, I know that for a fact, and I come back, and some of my stuff that was in my tent is now around my tent, and my tent is open, I'm done. I'm not going back in there. I'm not. If I notice that from a distance, I'm not going no further, no closer. I'm gonna just see that, and then see my way out the goddamn woods. So I mean, you can go ahead and keep doing that. You know what? I don't care no more. I don't. You think people have common sense, but it's like, you know, you be like, hey, you seem like you have pretty good common sense. I want you to go into that forest. Oh, I forgot my seasonings to my popcorn. Can you go get them for me? It's in the deep forest. You go get that for me? Wow. Okay, let me just stop you right there because I'm not letting you go in that forest. You have no common sense. I can give two shits about some seasonings for some popcorn. I'm not, especially in the deep forest. Now, if the tables were turned, let's switch that. And the person, like what I just asked, that person over there to go in that forest for, if he asked me that, I would have cut you off right in the middle and would have been like, no, I can already see where you're going with that. You're cluck you for even thinking I would go in there for some goddamn seasonings. Seasonings. No. Not from the goddamn seasonings badge. No, I'm not doing it. Oh, you tripping.
To see that my bag had been gone through. Surprisingly, nothing was taken, though. I contemplated packing up and moving spots, but I figured it was pointless. Whoever came already scoped out the place and left. Therefore, they wouldn't have a reason to come back. Fast forward to that night when I finally got in my tent to go to sleep. A few minutes after getting in my sleeping bag, I heard a noise. The first time I heard it, I had no idea what it could be. But the second time I heard it, it sounded like a staticky breathing sound. I sat up and looked around my tent, and at that point it went silent. So after sitting up with my heart racing for a decent while, I laid back down and tried to move past it. But after not even having my eyes closed for 10 seconds, I heard it again. Some kind of grainy, staticky breathing noise. I started digging through my bag and found something I knew for certain I didn't bring with me. I pulled out a huge, archaic-looking walkie-talkie type thing, and the static was emanating from that. I instantly associated it with the footsteps and whoever searched my tent. But all I was thinking was, why would they put that there? Just then, the static stopped, and there was a breathing sound once more coming from the big walkie-talkie type thing. And then in a deep, almost unintelligible whisper, I heard the words, It's crazy how in just a couple seconds, your whole world can change, and how your whole body can become overcome with fear. I frantically pressed buttons on the oversized walkie-talkie until it finally seemed to turn off. Then, I heard something hit the ground outside, something heavy. I had a choice. Do I stand ground and protect my belongings and myself, or do I make a straight dash for the pickup truck?
Second option.
When I heard something else hit the ground right outside the tent, I chose the latter and made a run for my pickup. I left behind my tent, my sleeping bag, and other equipment. But in reality, none of that stuff really mattered when my life was potentially on the line.
You think?
For all I know, it was some kind of trap to just get me to leave all my stuff behind for them to take. Or it could have genuinely been someone who intended on harming me.
But the fact that you went back into the tent, the tent, is beyond me. I don't know why you did that. That's like you leaving your house and you know you locked all doors, windows, and vents. And if you have a chimney, you cover that shit up from the outside. And then you come back and your front door is wide, the clock open. And you still decide, oh, it's probably nothing. Let me just go ahead and walk in nonchalantly, close the door behind me, lock it, right? Meanwhile, about 4 or 5 windows, not windows, glass, window, yeah, window. No, glass. I don't know. They're busted. All of that. And you still relaxing on the couch, watching on Netflix. What you watching? Clock it. Orange is the New Black. I don't know why I keep saying that show. But that's probably because that's what I'm watching right now. Y'all, if I ever go hiking, which is highly unlikely and very rare, but if I do, hypothetically speaking, if I do, best believe I'm going in there, that junk deep as hell. I'm talking about 15 to 20 people with me. And that's not because I care about y'all motherfuckers. That's not because I care about the 15 to 20 people I'm with. That's because I'm going to use y'all as bait. You know? If a bear decides he want to play games, well, bitch, I'm not playing games. I can toss one of y'all, to the bear. Maybe he can, play some tic-tac-toe or duck bear. I don't. All I'm saying is, if I ever decide to go hiking, I'm going in that junk deep. And it's only because so I can use y'all as bait. I'm gonna tell you right now, something pop off. If we end up in a clucked up situation, oh, best believe I'm the first one out. Right? Cluck anybody and everybody that I'm with at the time. Sorry, not sorry. I care about myself way too much. I care about myself way more than I care about you. What did Kanye say in his album, in that song? He said something like that. I'm not about to play the song because I do not want to get copywritten. But, man, that's crazy how you think somebody has common sense until they're actually in a position where they need to use their brain or they need to have common sense. And then when they're in a position where they have to use their shits, they act like they don't got no shits. They act like they don't got no common sense. And then they look at you for some common sense. Well, bitch, don't be looking at me. The only thing, you're not even looking at me. Matter of fact, because I'm so far out. By the time you realize where I am, you already talking to my after image, right? Because this can be you. And by the time you realize you're in a cluttered situation, yo, I'm already in China. What you talking about, man? Living it up. And that's only because I got my Adidas on. The best in the game, hands down. Right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Adidas is the best game. I said, best shoes to get you out of clucked up situations. In a heartbeat. In a second. And depending on what Adidas you have, they can think for you. But the Adidas 3000s, oh man, they do all the work for you. Regardless if you in shape or out of shape, they running for you. But if you ever been hiking or about to go, if you ever been hiking, let me know if you was ever in a clucked up situation, or you was about to be in a clucked up situation and you was like, no, I'm not doing this today. And then you just got to cluck out of there. Right. And if you're about to go hiking, let me just stop you right there and just say no. But if you do, make sure you got your Adidas on, or something Adidas. Whether it's Adidas glasses, Adidas contacts, Adidas headband, hat, socks, shoes, underwear, leggings, tank tops, shirts, watches. Rings. Toe rings. I don't know. Hey. I do my best to try and make sure y'all good and try to make sure that y'all know when to, y'all know when you're in a clucked up situation, or when you're about to be in a clucked up situation. I try to warn y'all. I try to give y'all the signs. Y'all just have to do the part. Y'all just have to do the actions yourself. Like I try to help y'all as much as I can. But unlike some people in stories like these, y'all don't want to listen to me, and y'all end up clucked. Nose flirted. You know I'm serious. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family. That was so ugly.